Wow.
Hey, look who's behind you. Hi, Amy.
Is it Amy?
Hey. Hi. Do you know Rudolph? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Oh, shiny.
You would even say it glows.
Shiny morning.
All of the other reindeer
Where do
used to laugh and call him names. They never left
Buddy.
join in any reindeer games. I got to see right there.
Hey there, you found Cameras in Car Seats, the podcast for photographers who are tired of being told to hustle harder while trying to remember if you grabbed diapers at your last Target run. I'm Jamie, your destination adventure elopement photographer who somehow manages to adventure with couples while raising tiny humans.
And I'm Alex, holding down the Lincoln logs in the Midwest traditional wedding scene, proving you can crush those weekend weddings and still make it to family dinner. If you're editing in the pickup line, scheduling client calls during nap time, or just trying to figure out how to run a profitable photography business without sacrificing your family life, you're in the right place. We're dropping real, actionable advice that actually works for mom photographers.
No bro marketing, no toxic hustle culture, just two photographer moms keeping it real about making this whole business thing work while raising our families. So grab your watered down iced coffee.
Ignore that pile of laundry for another hour or day.
And let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we're hanging out with Amy, who is an incredible mom, newborn photographer, product creation genius, and she is a duo team with her sister Lindsey, and together they crush the newborn world between their business Sweet Little You and the Newborn Nerds. So let's just wrap ourselves into this. Is that too punny for newborns?
Good one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like this is just a fun question to ask. Amy, I want you to set the stage. If you are a character in a book, in a movie, TV show, who are you?
Oh my gosh, was this in the notes?
Technically, I did send this to you, but
I know.
I was like, I just want to know. Like, if you were to describe yourself as a movie character, are you like from, I don't know, South Park? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm gonna go with Princess Leia. Because I gotta go Star Wars, Princess Leia for sure. She's a badass.
Yeah, I'm like, I could see that you relate to Princess Leia.
Yep.
I'm like Star Wars because I feel like I had a Star Wars joke for you and then I forgot it, so I'm just gonna move on from that one. No.
And I gotta go something nerdy. That's where the Newborn Nerds came from. Lindsey and I are big Star Wars geeks, so that's.
You should make like the newborn wrap, like the layers. But like Leia's.
Yeah. Leia's. That's a good one.
Oh, okay. Wait, pause. Is there anything that you are excited about right now that like business life, personal life? What gets you excited right now?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of stuff coming for the Newborn Nerds. I'm really excited about a lot of products we've got in the works right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I want to like divulge right now, but we're working on, well, I'll go ahead and leak it here. I guess we're working on a new little poser. I mean, you know about this already, but
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't helped you with that at all. That's all Mark. No,
a new little posing system. And we've got our floor mats coming that I'm pretty excited about, our new, backdrop floor mats, and we have some bowls and some baskets and more outfits. Yeah.
Okay, pause. Alex, stuff. I feel like we need to back up and be like, we should let Amy just tell everyone, because we are wedding photographers, which should be like, wait, pause. Can we introduce Amy? Amy, Can you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
I'm Amy. I own the Newborn Nerds and Sweet Little You Photography. I've been photographing newborns for about 13 years now. And Lindsey and I started Newborn Nerds, I don't know, 5 years ago. Yeah, 5-6 years ago, and sell props and seamless paper and all that stuff to newborn photographers, teach,
So you create a seamless newborn experience. I like it. No, I'm trying to think of all the puns.
All about the puns today.
So what came first? Would you say motherhood or photography?
Photography. I had actually started doing photography a little bit before I ever got pregnant. And I went to school for studio art with an emphasis in photography. I always knew I always knew I wanted to have a photography studio. I never really knew what niche I was going to focus on, but I think pretty much the only like client work I ever did before Dane was born was a wedding, and I had no business doing weddings at that point. But you know how it be.
Well, yeah, because I refer every newborn to you guys. Like I'm like, I have friends. They are amazing. Go see them.
Yeah, and but I kind of let it kind of fizzle out a little bit, and I didn't officially start my business until Dane was about a year old. So kind of both. Like, yes, I was interested in doing photography before I had kids. And then also, yes, I started my photography business after I had kids.
Which, okay, so that leads me into your kids they're ranging from teenage days to you're still in the toddler trenches. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, and Lindsey, you're like your other half, your sister, she's also a mom of 3, and you guys' kids are all roughly the same age. So I'm like, can you just kind of walk us through your normal day of motherhood, businesshood, sisterhood?
Yeah. I mean, once they get older, it gets easier in that, you have more time to spend on your business and they don't take up so much of your time and, which is it's bittersweet, but so Dane is 14, Lindsey has a almost 14-year-old also. And we both have 10-year-olds and, I have a 4-year-old, Lindsey has a 3-year-old, and then I have a 1-year-old. So I have 4 kiddos. And yeah, the 1-year-old and the 4-year-old definitely, they still, are very commanding of my time, which is great. Like really soak it in while you can, don't try to rush through those years because you're definitely going to miss it when it's over. And, but it gets easier. It's kind of nice to have a teenager around that can babysit for a couple hours if I have to go do something work related. And I'm like, he's always there as a backup for baby watch.
I don't know. I was gonna say how much does Dane love that?
He's not thrilled about changing diapers, and he's also not thrilled about hanging out with my 4-year-old. Like those two are like mortal enemies for some reason. It's funny because he was the one who really wanted a baby sister when she was born. And every time I remind him of that, he's like, but this isn't the baby sister I asked for.
What'd you expect? It's Teddy and Axel.
Yeah, she's a little bit crazier, a little bit more of a tomboy than I think anybody expected for some reason.
I mean, she's grown up with Dane and Axel. I feel like Teddy's exactly who I expected. I would be so confused if you had like a prim and proper sort of like toddler versus like Teddy, which is just like balls to the wall.
Yeah, she is very balls to the wall. That's the best way to describe her. She's one of the guys.
I'm also curious. So because you and Lindsey do this together, do you guys split the workload between Newborn Nerds, Sweet Little You, or like because you both have Sweet Little You, but you're 2 hours apart. Your 2 studios are 2 hours apart, and then the warehouse is closer to Lindsey for Newborn Nerds.
Yeah. So we both kind of take on different aspects of Newborn Nerds. She kind of handles all of the shipping and a lot of the customer servicing and stuff because she is, she lives 2 minutes away from the warehouse. And so, naturally shipping is, her responsibility, her and Aaron, her husband, Aaron, he works for us. And she does a lot of the customer service answering because a lot of it goes along with shipping things. There's a lot of like, my package got damaged in transit and stuff like that. So a lot of that just naturally falls on her. Whereas I tend to focus on the marketing stuff more, social media marketing, emails, product development. Also, I'm the one that kind of gets these like fun ideas. I have like these aha moments in my sleep usually. And then I wake up and tell her like, hey, I have an idea for a new product. And she's like, oh boy. So the product development stuff and a lot of the manufacturing stuff I deal with, talking to our manufacturers and stuff for
the most
outfits and
part,
everything.
it's a full family, all hands on deck. Because Matt, your husband, is also part employee with his. Well, I swear you posted the funniest thing of Matt last year around Christmas and like a certain shirt or so, like a newborn shirt or something.
Oh, yeah, probably. Because he wanted to model one of our crop tops. Was it that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm thinking of.
That was a pretty popular post.
I
And
think,
also
sales increased? No.
I think so. I think we sold some of them because of that. Hey, that was his idea, not mine. But I've also posted a picture of him. He builds our boxes sometimes. He's not our main box builder, but whenever we need like an influx of boxes and he has some extra time on his hands, he'll whip out like 100 boxes pretty quickly. And I posted a photo one time of him just shirtless, like building boxes, and people were like, "Oh my!"
With his man bun.
Like, I'll take 200, please. I would like to see behind the scenes content of how those were made.
Especially in winter when the heat's on. No. Sorry, Matt.
Are there times that you ever feel guilty for like your work and home balance?
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes I catch myself like kind of, figuratively like pushing the kids away and not I'll catch myself doing that and like, oh, never mind. Like, let me just shut my laptop and spend some time with the kids. But it's hard. It's hard, especially when there's things that I'm like, I feel like this has to get done right now, but you just have to remind yourself of what's important and, like take a breath, slow down. Customer service stuff can wait, posts can wait, editing can wait. But yeah, I definitely feel that it's hard. It's hard to balance that sometimes.
Yeah. Would you say there's any advice that you have for people who are thinking about starting out in not even just newborn, but like photography in general as a mom? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah. I gotta think about it for a
Okay.
second.
So say there was a mom that was wanting to get into newborn photography. What are a couple things that you would give advice on?
So definitely invest in some education first. Don't try to just dive in and, be self-taught. It's cool to be self-taught but you don't really get any reward for that, and you can get so good so fast if you just invest in a good mentor or some classes. And, also don't buy the cheap stuff. Don't buy the cheap props, the cheap equipment. Invest in some good lighting and stuff from the get-go, because you'll thank yourself later. You'll regret it in the long run if you, try to start cheap.
Well, also from like a safety point of view, I'm just picturing like a newborn and like a prop that's not supposed to be for a baby.
Yeah, definitely that too. Yeah, for sure. And that's part of the education stuff too. With newborns, it's not really something you want to mess around with if you don't know how to handle a baby and stuff. You don't want to risk it. You want to make sure you're watching some professionals, seasoned professionals doing it first.
Right. I think there's people that like you don't know behind the scenes. Like you see pretty pictures of newborns. You're like, oh, cute. That looks fun. I want to just do that and snuggle newborns all day. But then it's like, no, there's actually like a lot that goes into that and a lot of things to be like safe and careful about.
Yeah, definitely.
Firsthand experience. I'm like, Amy makes this look so easy. And I'm just going to go back to my wedding.
Right. Go back to where I can tell people what to do and they do it.
I don't know what I think. I feel like maybe other photographers can totally agree with me. When you're first attempting newborn photography, I just get so sweaty and nervous, and the parents are watching me, and then I'm like, oh my God, the baby's looking at me like, well, what are you, dumb? Yes, I am. I don't know what I'm doing.
The baby is judging me.
The baby is judging me. It's like the baby from Ice Age. And I'm Sid. I don't know.
All right, so we want to take a moment to kind of let you brag on Newborn Nerds and Sweet Little You for a moment. So what are your favorite parts of each of those businesses?
Sweet Little You, I just love newborn sessions. And you were talking about getting nervous for newborn sessions. I just never get that feeling anymore, but I know what you're talking about, because I get that feeling for like other types of sessions. And I don't know. I always just feel really in my element when I have a newborn and I'm posing it. And even if it's like a rough session and the baby's super gassy or something like that, I'm just always happy. Like, I don't know. It's my absolute favorite part of the job, or trying to be innovative about different poses and stuff, and thinking of ideas of like, oh, this would be fun to try this new thing and stuff. So that's definitely my favorite part about my photography business. With Newborn Nerds, I think my favorite part is seeing other people use our props and our products, and just the pride that we feel seeing, how we've helped other photographers achieve the looks that they want with our stuff. And yeah, it's just really exciting.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's a good feeling.
So when it comes to teaching other photographers and them asking questions, what questions do you find yourself answering most of the time? Like, is it posing? Is it lighting? What is it?
I think a lot of people think that they want to know about editing more than anything. And so we find ourselves having to explain to students a lot about how it's more actually about lighting and angles than editing. And then the editing is kind of like the icing on the cake, but the bulk of our look of how we achieve, the look of our images is actually mostly lighting. So I think we get a lot of editing questions, but I always want to redirect people and like, yeah, here's what we do for editing, but it's most important to get it right in camera. And that's like across the board with all genres of photography. You guys understand that too. And we get a lot of questions about we kind of tend to get the same questions over and over again at our workshops and conferences and stuff. People ask things like, what if the parents don't want to bring a pacifier? It's like, well, I mean, yeah, we never really know how to answer that question, because it's like, you just kind of get what you get then, I guess. I don't know. So it's always the questions that are like sort of I don't know, like we don't really know how to answer that we get over and over again like that. But
I have a slight sidebar, backtrack to like lighting. I feel like I know your images, looking at your images. I feel like I know your favorite lighting pattern, but like, when you're teaching people or anything, do you show them like, okay, here's this lighting pattern, here's short lit, here's like, do you have a specific lighting pattern that you always go for? Do you try new lighting patterns?
Typically for newborns, we find that either Rembrandt or loop lighting works best. And we do at all of our workshops, we do a little demo with like a flashlight. Like I'll kind of stand next to Lindsey and shine a flashlight like here and here and here. Just to show like where the lighting is falling and what this style of lighting would be called, and why we don't use that style of lighting. We just we go through all the different lighting and like, well, here's why we don't use this with newborns, because, but yeah, there are some, every once in a while I experiment with maybe a little bit of split lighting or something like that, but not very often with newborns, because with newborns, loop and Rembrandt lighting just work the best because of the subject, because they're so small, and because you don't want to give it like a harsh effect. Like, well, first of all, you don't want to uplight. I mean, that's pretty much across the board. Like you don't, unless you're
scary lighting,
doing something creepy, like, you generally don't want to uplight. But as far as like split lighting goes, which does work for other genres, with newborns, it just kind of gives like almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type of look to it. And it's just a little bit not innocent enough, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. So typically, but yeah, we always talk about short light, broad lit. I'm kind of I love broad light. I mean, you said you always recognize you probably noticed that I tend to do a lot of broad lighting.
Could you so for maybe newer photographers that are like, what the heck is like a loop light? What is like broad lit? Could you just like, if you were to break it down in the dumbest way possible for audio only, like this is what this would look like?
Oh man, yeah, audio only. This is gonna be tricky. Go to one of our workshops. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, literally, we're gonna plug newborn nerds.
Yeah, I mean, so broad lit is basically when you are taking the image closer, you're standing closer to the light than the baby is looking, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so like
the light is falling on the broad side.
If the light is
of
right in front
face.
of you, like say how the microphone is right in front of us, it's the lit side of the face is closer to the camera.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had to explain that
We're
that
gonna
way.
have to do some visual aids for this podcast.
Or yeah, just book a newborn nerds workshop. Go to one of our conferences. You know.
Ooh, okay. I have a rapid fire question. Do you
Okay.
prefer one-on-one work or like a group workshop setting? Because I know you've done both.
It's apples and oranges kind of, because it just depends on like what you need. I don't really have a preference. I like both of those.
What about Lindsey?
I think she does too. I think she likes both of them. It's just a matter of what the student needs. So if it's a student who's like, because our group workshops are cheaper. And if it's somebody who's just like, yeah, I think I'll pick up some things. It might not be specifically tailored to what I need exactly, but I think I'll learn a few tips and pointers, even just being here, and maybe some things I'll already know and some things I won't know. But when we do a one-on-one, and that's a little bit more expensive, or actually we don't do one-on-ones, we do one-on-twos, because Lindsey and I always teach together. We can completely tailor that private mentoring session to the photographer's needs and what they want to focus on, and what they and what their skill level is. It's more of a specific, I guess.
Well, and I feel like in my mind, I love one-on-ones because that's when you can actually talk to people and know exactly what their problem is. And it's not like a college class where here is light 1, 2, 3. Here is answer 1, 2, 3.
Right. Or
Yeah.
in workshop settings, I know there are some people who are a little more shy. And so if they're trying to like get to the front or get the shot they want, they won't get it because they're not the type to like budge,
And like you're putting not only like how we try to put client experience first, we're trying to put the student experience first so that they can go out there and put their client experience first.
Right.
So
So
there's always a shy one that doesn't want to speak up. You're right.
Right. What is your go-to lens?
For newborns, my go-to lens is the Sigma Art 35. For milestones, it's the Sigma Art 50. So the 35, because I like to stay really close to the baby. I'm always within an arm's length, from the baby. And that amount of distortion doesn't really affect newborns as much because they're so small. So with milestones, I like to use the 50 because the distortion and because of how I use the 53-inch seamless a lot. And I don't like to do a whole lot of background filling in and stuff. So that helps using a slightly longer lens.
Oh, okay. Can we just like rapid fire shout out the newborn nerds really fast? You have seamless paper, you have posers, you have products. Do you have a favorite out of everything you offer on the newborn nerds between presets and everything?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with the seamless paper because that's kind of our bread and butter. That's our, that's what people know us by, I feel like, the most. So we have 61 colors of seamless. I think 61 seamless colors. It's a lot. And we just kind of, everything in our shop, almost, I mean, a lot of things in our shop kind of evolve around the seamless paper because we have so many things that coordinate with our colors. So we have like matching boxes, and pretty soon we're going to have a few other matching props, and we have matching outfits, sitter outfits and headbands and stuff like that. So
The outfits kill me.
Yeah.
You did Ev's, like she came and modeled for you for some of the outfits, and I still look at those pictures like every day because it's so freaking cute.
yeah.
I was like, I need milestone pictures for Jet soon, but I'll get to it. Second kid problems.
I know. I like, if I need a model his age, which actually I will pretty soon for something. So I'll let you know.
So cute. Okay, so do you have any goals that you are working toward right now? Either you personally or you and Lindsey or anything like that?
I'd like to get a little bit busier with my photography business. Right now, I'm kind of in a little bit of a slump, and I feel like a lot of people are right now, like just the way the economy is and stuff. But I've also just not really been focusing on booking clients much. And so I need to get my SEO where it needs to be. I'm listening to you guys and your marketing tips. So hopefully that'll help a little bit there.
Do you feel like that's a hard balance between, like, do you find yourself in a season where you're focusing on like newborn nerds, so then you're like, oh crap, I need to actually market for like photography clients, and then vice versa?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't, I feel like one of the things has to suffer while the other thing thrives. There's just no way, unless you're hiring people to do it for you. Like there's always going to be one aspect of, or one business, that's suffering a little bit. And, yeah, I mean, if I was 100% focusing on newborn nerds, when I'm 100% focusing on newborn nerds, our sales are so much higher, noticeably higher, And when I'm 100% focusing on Sweet Little You, I'm definitely booking more sessions. So I'm trying to find a balance between the two, and it's really just not possible to have both be like totally thriving.
And not to mention,
the same time.
the house is probably also.
Oh, Matt is a godsend when it comes to like keeping the house together. Like that's all Matt. That is not me.
So that's Amy's advice. We need a good partner, a good sister, and a business that makes us feel fun. No, fills our cup, not makes us feel fun.
We're not fun.
We're not fun ever.
Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you if they want to find anything about you, your photography, your props, Seamless, all that.
So join the Newborn Nerd Society on Facebook. That's our little group. And that's where we're the most accessible. If you want to tag us and if you have a question or something, make a post in that group, tag us. We subscribe to our newsletter if you want to be the first to find out about new products and discounts and stuff like that. Go to newbornnerds.com. That's where you can find all of our goodies.
We'll also put it in the show notes too, so people can easily just click on the link and tag you on both of your Instagram accounts.
Yes, and if somebody wants to reach out about like mentoring or learning, where can they go for that?
Just email us at hello@newbornnerds.com.
Okay,
and let us know what you want.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I would say this was gold today.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Amy, and sharing your experiences. And we could just keep going on, but we will let people join your group and find all that stuff where they can. But we are so excited for you guys to learn from this, and we will catch you next episode.